And go. All right.
Yay!
Hey guys. Okay, I am doing okay today, just so you know. I had so many people after yesterday's impromptu live, and thank you so much. I appreciate just all your messages and everything. And today I was actually meeting with Vickie Poole, who is a friend of mine, a Do the Thing community member, has been part of the Audience Accelerator program, and we've been working together and just having like an amazing time getting to do the thing together just in the last like month and a half. And we're planning her grand opening for her Facebook group on Monday. And something kind of huge happened that I feel like we have to share, because like this is the space we're in right now of finding your voice, right? And so before we go into that, Vickie, why don't we share? And I'm on your page too. So I'm Stacey, just so you guys know, anyone that's new, I'm with the Do the Thing podcast, and I have the Do the Thing community. And if you haven't seen it yet, I did a crying live yesterday that apparently was on YouTube, which was also terrifying. And then I ended up sharing it everywhere after that, because I'm like, screw it, I already did it. And I had too many people that said they like it landed with them, that I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep it. But anyway, that's me. And then I'd love you to share about you, and then we'll talk about what happened. Because if you're, I see some of you guys are here. We're impromptu, so thanks for being here. Let me check and see if I can see the comments this time. Yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. But yeah, we're gonna share this like huge epiphany that happened with Vickie and her group, and it goes back to, guess what? Finding your voice.
That's
So go ahead.
right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my name is Vickie Poole, and I'm a transformational coach and a certified hypnotist. And so I have been working. Do you want me to just share a little bit
Yeah.
on what I've been? Okay. So I
Yeah.
have been working for quite a while with weight loss and um, and that was my main focus, and mainly because that's what I'd struggled with all my life, was being a yo-yo dieter and everything. And I recognized how much I needed support as I was going through that. And I've also done stop smoking and, helping people study and just all different kinds of things. But recently, some things have kind of popped up that make me realize that I have a different zone of genius that needs to get out.
Yeah, and that's why we're here. So it's so interesting because like, so Vickie did the podcast challenge with me in April, started her podcast. I was on her podcast, and then she's been on mine, and something that came out of that challenge, oh my God, it's connecting the dots right now, Vickie, was the podcast is like your self-care, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
isn't that
Yeah.
funny? Yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
what came out on our interview, and I love that because I feel like my podcast like really just like it changed everything for me with that activation of voice and the way that you spoke about it being your. Why don't you, for anyone that didn't listen, share what that meant to you, and then we'll go into what we're about to talk about.
Well, I have loved doing my podcast so much. And then, like I was saying on your podcast, and I've told other people that I was working with a business coach at the time that right before we talked about it. And the business coach told me that I needed to stop my podcast because it was distracting me from the business things that I was wanting to do. And I told him flat out, this is where I get to speak. I get to be me. I get to be authentically me. I just get to speak whatever I want to speak. And that it was my form of self care. And so I refused to stop doing that because that was what really gave me the release and the ability to just speak without feeling judged in some way, and it just really feeds me, and I
Yeah.
enjoy it so much that I wasn't willing to let it go.
Yeah, it's so good. I love the way you explain it, because I feel like it did that for me too. It was like this release that I didn't even know could even happen by just starting a podcast. It's crazy, and it doesn't make any sense. And that's why, like, before the podcast challenge, it was so funny because I was doing the singles community before that, and they had done dating challenges with me, but a lot of them weren't coming over for the podcast challenge because the word podcast, I think, is really scary. And I was like really obsessive and probably annoying. I'm like, come on, guys, come and play with me, you know? And I, and And I didn't know the language with that, like that's what it does. And that's why I was so obsessive about it, because I know how much it gave me. And so anyway, that's when I ended up coming with the Find Your Voice challenge, because that's like a bridge. And there was something about finding your voice was like easier for people to accept than the podcast. And so anyway, that's where that challenge even began. But so Vickie and I have been working together. I've actually been doing hypnosis with her, which has been unbelievable. She's helping me because you guys probably already know, and it's probably so annoying by now, but I had gained 15 pounds last year. I did a comedy routine about it. So it's obviously something that's been bugging me. I think especially as I age, like and I've been way overweight, before. And then when I gained this 15 pounds, it was after 75 hard. I did 75 hard, which is this like really aggressive self-discipline challenge, and I was like, I'm going to do it. I did all of the things, but then at the end of it, I just lost it all. And so I hadn't been able to get this weight off. And so Vickie came in, did a live for my group. And that's when I'm like, I've got to just sign up with you like right now. And I've been
I
like,
know
look,
we got off and you messaged me right away.
way. I'm like, this is like literally what I need. And so anyway, so I've been working with her on that. And then the funniest thing happened. I've been telling you guys I auditioned for this TEDx talk. And I just did that last weekend. And Vickie did this hypnosis with me that was like the things was you got me to like see people like at the edge of their seat as I'm speaking. And it was crazy during the talk as I'm speaking it. Literally, like I'm seeing people at the edge of their seat so much that I had to turn away because I've never had that before. I've never had people do that when I spoke before. And then we're talking yesterday, not today. Yeah, today. We're talking today about something happened with one of your clients with this. And then we'll tell you what's going on in a minute, but I have to like frame it with like all of this stuff first. But tell what happened with your client yesterday, and then the testimonial she gave you today, and why like we're about to talk about how she's just transitioned something that we're literally planning this grand opening Monday. And we're like, damn it, we gotta like tune into this because there's
I
something so
know.
powerful happening here.
Well, I actually this is a hypnosis client that I hypnotized her on Friday because she is actually a keynote speaker. She teaches. She's a coach. She does all these things. She's even a confidence coach. But where she was having a problem was anytime she was going to go to a networking event, she would break out in a sweat and be nervous. And then she would get in and she didn't want to talk to anybody. She would hide in the corner. And she said all she really wanted was to be able to go to a networking event and actually talk to people and not have just be sitting in the corner. And she was always calling her friends and saying, hey, I'm going to this networking event, come with me so I know somebody there. And then they would hover together and not do anything. And or if she did, she said if she would sweat almost like she was having a hot flash.
Yeah.
And she said it was very uncomfortable. So in this hypnosis, I talked with her about how she would calmly get to this event. She would actually get up excited about going because I took and helped her to take away the agenda of I have to talk to them and sell them something. I have to sell them on me. I have to, and that was where a lot of her angst was. And so I told her that when she walked in the room that she would be able to vibrationally know who to talk to first. She would
Yeah.
feel it and she would go talk to them, and then she would just move about. And we talked a little about what her experience was going to be and how um, people were going to start feeling like she was a friend and just a whole bunch of things. And so this morning she messaged me and she said, oh my God, Vickie, do you have time for me to just talk to you? This is too good. I can't just write it. And so I got on the phone with her and I realized what all she was saying. And I said, can you send me this in a video? And she said, I'll try. And I said, wait, I'll get a Zoom. So we got on a Zoom and she said the whole thing. And one of the things that she said that was so profound to me was, all of it was very profound. And I was so exceptionally excited that I was able to help her in this way. But she said that who she was today at this thing. Remember, we just talked on Wednesday, and today is Friday. So this is how long it was between. And she said that today she was exactly who she had always dreamed of being when she went into an event like this. She even sat up front. She raised her hand and got up on stage. She said that at the end of it, people, when she left the place, people were waving at her and high fiving her. And when she got in her car, she turned it on, and the song that came on was "This Girl Is on Fire."
Wow.
And so we were celebrating that, but it was such an amazing thing. And, you know, it was, I mean, I'm still kind of all excited and blown away with her experience. And and you had so much that happened with your experience. And so, like I said, I feel like this is more of my zone of genius than telling people how to mindfully eat.
Yeah, so I love this so much because this is where finding your voice is so powerful. And I noticed Joyce is here. Hi, Joyce. It's like perfect that you're here because it's like your journey for you finding your voice has been like one of the most beautiful moments in my life. Is just seeing that trajectory. But I think it's that idea of being able to find your voice, because finding your voice isn't just like, I mean, yeah, it's getting to go live on video. And if you want to sell your book or sell a product or whatever it is, like it's all of that. But like what it is on a deeper level, it's getting all the noise out of your head so that you could like actually like hear and like see these messages that come, and whether it's God, universe, whoever, and be able to like then move in that direction. I feel like that's such the power. And so that's what we did is we're sitting there and we're talking and we're having our audience accelerator meeting and we're planning her grand opening, you guys, which is Monday. I have to show you her group. I just put her group on. Hold on.
Yeah,
Because
and one of the things we were talking about was the fact that I did the live this morning.
oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is her group. So it says make lasting change, how to unlock confidence, energy, lose pounds. And then we've done like all the emails for it, packet, like, because there's all this stuff and we're like planning the grand opening. And we're like, okay, it was going to be like drink water every day because water is like really important, in like losing weight. I mean, it's important in other things too. And then all of a sudden, I think I said, I'm like, we got to like pay attention. Something's happening here. And
Yeah.
and I'm like, between my experience where like literally people were like leaning in, and then to what had just happened. And then you said that live this morning. Then all of a sudden, Vickie kept saying self-care, self-care. And I'm like, oh my God. And now this freaking connecting the dots with your podcast. And so her group, you guys, it's make lasting change, but the focus is going to be on self-care. So like every day, and I get chills when I think about this because I think like we don't talk about this stuff. Like I
Yeah.
remember like I couldn't even I was just talking to Luis about this. He's another audience accelerator member. He was talking about when he was younger and had skin stuff and he's maybe exploring doing something with skincare. And I was like, yeah, it's funny. Like me doing my own skincare routine, when I didn't start doing my own skincare routine until I was like 49 or something, 48. And I was like, even that alone was this like act of self-care that I like never did before. Like that was my first act, was actually like paying attention and using like a toner and like cream. Because like who has time for that? Like as my old hustler Stacey, CEO mode.
Yeah.
Like I don't have time for that. And anyway, so her group is going to be on self-care, and like every day people are going to be sharing their self-care, and it could be water, it could be maybe you did a podcast episode, maybe you worked out, like, and you share what this part of this journey was for you, because you realize like, and again, this goes back to finding your voice, because you're like, I don't really want to talk about water every time, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like you love talking about self-care. So why don't we share a little bit about kind of like that progression too?
Okay. Well, the interesting thing is the reason like I said, I got involved with the weight loss thing was because that had been my journey, but it hasn't been my journey for quite a long time. It has changed and developed over time to something totally different. And like I shared this morning on the live, is that self-care is so much more than getting your nails done or taking a bath. It can be sitting by yourself and reading a book. It could be, going outside and going for a walk. And the interesting thing is, before we got on here just a little bit ago, I decided that, I was really feeling the pull to go for another walk. And
Yeah.
so I went for a walk. And while I was on the walk, I even said, "Thank you, God, because I have felt a bit disconnected from my message because it doesn't feel like authentically me anymore." I mean, I still have like 20 pounds that I'd like to drop, but there's so much more that I'm developing than that. And so it's, to me, it's like I kept getting these nudges that something needed to be different, like when we were first talking about the water challenge, I thought, well, I've already started water in the group, and and I'm kind of, I'm doing that, but it feels like I've kind of exhausted the stuff that I'm going to be talking about. So, well, I mean, I was doing all this internal dialogue about, all right, so now how do I make this work? And so every little thing that's happened just in the past week or 2 weeks has been trying to push me into another place. And so it just so happened that to me, it's always these synchronicities just blow my mind sometimes,
Yeah.
because I did this mornings live about self-care and everything. And then when you sent me a text that said, "Can we get on our message, our Zoom about 10 minutes later?" And as soon as you sent that, that's when Michelle sent me the thing that said, "Hey, can we talk?" And it was like everything was just lining up for me to
Yeah.
get into that space, to listen to her, and to have her say, "You are just, have blown me away, and I cannot thank you enough." And I thought, that's more important than
Mm.
the water we drink.
Yeah.
And it was like, and then when we got on our conversation, it was like, oh my gosh, it's just like everything's synchronized. And I like to say that we live in a symphony. And so we all have different instruments that are being played around us, and it's getting all these instruments together to make it just this beautiful sound. And one of my self care things is sitting out here now, hearing the wind blow my wind chimes.
So cool.
I did share this morning, I've got several different ones. Some of them are tuned certain ways, but then I have another one that's just down that way a little bit more. And it's little shells, and you can't hear them when I'm up here, but when I hear them, it makes me feel like I'm in Florida, I'm at the beach. And so all of these things play together to help me feel into taking care of me. I don't know if I answered your question or not.
Yeah, no, you did. Yeah, it's just like why this is so important for you, and so if you guys are watching, and for those of you that, because we're on an impromptu, so for those of you that end up watching this on a replay, put hashtag replay in the comments. I'm getting better at that. It sounds like you're like like you're like that person.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Give me a follow, like
Down
it's like,
below, down below.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Give me a follow. I just did my first Instagram video saying, "Oh, and give me a follow." I'm like, who am I become? What am I even doing? But anyway, yeah. So oh my God, what was I saying? Yeah. So her group is go to vickiepoole.com, and she's going to be changing the part about the
The
having it be
weight.
just pounds.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to
And
lose,
it's VICKIEPOOLE at Gmail, no, dot
dot
com.
com.
Not my, all right.
Yeah.
So Vickie Poole. So it's VICKIEPOOLE.com. And I spell it because all the little transcriber things always leave the E off my first name.
Oh,
So if
yeah.
you're looking for it in that way, you won't find it.
Yeah, perfect. And I'll put the comments after, or comment also if you want to join. But
Okay.
like, I think what's so cool is that with Do the Thing and the way I'm helping you guys set up your group with the audience accelerators, we're embedding the formula, into it, the Do the Thing formula. And one of the pieces of it is that social accountability, right? And so, like, no matter how good your coach is and your whoever that person is that's leading with you, if you're not with a group of people that are wanting the same thing as you, it's really hard, you guys, to do it alone. And that's why I think I'm so passionate about like building these groups, because by like us all being able to be in there and sharing our self-care, and whether it's 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, like you're going to now hold each other accountable to be able to do that. And then on top of that, then you as the leader of the group get to be this like catalyst for change. And I know anytime you talk, even like, what was it earlier? Oh, we were talking about, I was telling you how like I felt after doing that live yesterday. I was like, oh my God, I was like the most vulnerable that I've ever been. And I just felt like so proud of myself. I had a little bit of a vulnerability hangover. Honestly, it was like a little bit. And then maybe a lot actually, if I want to be really honest. And then I had so many people message me after just about like how they felt about it and like their own story. Because I think a lot of people paint that superficial layer, and they were like telling me their truth pretty much. And I was telling you about that. And then you had said like for me to like go, do you want to do you remember what you said? You said for
Yeah,
me,
I
yeah,
do.
just,
As
yeah.
she was explaining, she'd spent a lot of time in the bathtub because she just needed to relax and be present in what she had gone through. And so I told her if she had time today or to take time today, I wanted her to go out to the beach, to the sand, and luckily she lives near a beach. And I said, no shoes on and walk in the sand. And I said, just release everything that doesn't serve you right now, that's holding you bound, release it into the sand. And just as you're walking, just feel that release coming out. And it is so amazing to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I just feel like anytime you're able to bring something in, it's that micro pattern interrupt that really can help someone shift. Group, you're going to be doing weekly lives with the group, and it's great because the lives are like this private kind of space in the Facebook group. So like if you guys are seeing me restreaming, it's my first time ever doing this on my personal page, which I don't even know what that means for me. I guess I'm finally comfortable coming out
About to know.
out of the do the thing closet, I guess. But like, yeah, because I've been like keeping everything so hidden, and it's funny, I've disconnected from a lot of people from like my old life because it was just so hard, and for those of you that watch that video, you'll understand like it was really hard, and it was just easier to like kind of protect myself. And so now that I've like released that part, that felt disconnected, I'm actually more open to like be more spacious for that, and let people back in. I had to like build myself back up again. And so anyway, by you doing those lives once a week, oh, that's where I was going. I'm like, I was going somewhere with that. The privacy of the lives, is like where it's only in that group. And then for those of you that join her group now, you're like a founding member. I mean, she still has 150 people in there. And like, imagine like right now, Do the Thing has like, I think over 3,000 in the one group and over 3,000 in another. And it's still great, but there's something about the magic of the beginning. And when I think of like the people in the very beginning of my groups, like Natalie and Cindy and Jill, and like all of these like people that like helped kind of like spark the fire. And you guys that have like podcast episodes of like all those people, we did celebration interviews, Crystal, Carolyn, sorry, I'm just trying to remember all the very beginning people. And then Mike came the second round, like Mike and Norma. And there's something really special about like, Deb, sorry, I'm going to stop because it's going to be too much. Pamela, but like all those people in the very beginning that like sparked the whole Do the Thing movement, And I think
Mm-hmm.
about like those people, like when they would share, I'm getting my chills right now, like when they share their story and they share the impact that like the stuff that I did had on them and like parts of their story. There was something about that, like them, we said it earlier, them being a part of building it together. And that's what you guys are getting with Vickie's group right now. You're getting a chance to be in the beginning of this beautiful movement on making lasting change. How freaking cool is that?
Yeah, and one of the things that I've noticed is that, um, I've been doing the Monday lives, which was focused mostly on different something to do with weight and or water or that kind of thing. But I've been doing a daily motivational thing where I give an affirmation and a journal prompt, and I have a discussion about what those mean to me and tell stories and things. So it's not just getting up there and saying, here's your affirmation, here's your journal prompt, and that's it. And I get more people commenting and saying things about that, and
Mm,
they miss that if I can't be on for some reason.
mhm.
And so that was a clear indicator too, is that people seem to resonate with those things.
Yeah.
And so I want to thank everybody that's in the group right now that was actually, you don't know how much you've helped me with these affirmations and these journal prompts, and going in and putting the picture of you, or putting your sticky note up, or talking to me about this story resonated with me and this is why. And um says,
Aw.
I love that, the
I
affirmations and journal prompts. I don't always comment, but I love that prompt, so
um,
thank you. But it was like, thank you for doing that, because that actually had me thinking a lot more about what is it that everybody needs the most, what can I
yeah,
offer that's going to be so much more than what I was doing. And I'm so glad that when I started doing these journal prompts and stuff, it was originally started because I had those little, it was like a deck of playing cards that I had bought from my health coaching company, or my life coaching company that I graduated from.
yeah,
And each one of those was an affirmation and a journal prompt on the other side. And once I got through with that deck, I thought, okay, well, now I'll just create a bunch. So I created a whole bunch, stuck them in my notes, and then I just kept going. So I'm still going, and when I get to the end of the list, I just create some more. And I will admit, Chat GPT helps me a lot of times. I put in what I'm looking for, and it'll give me a list of some. And so,
yeah.
however I can make it work, that's just has been so amazing to see the progression of that.
Yeah, and it makes me think of Terry. And Terry, I hope you're doing good. I know she's in the hospital right now. I think she got
She's
released.
home. She's home.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And I it makes me think of Terry because when you were doing the quotes, and then she put the quote on money and posted it in the group, and she was like, when she was giving out the money, it had the affirmation on there. It shows how like the creativity from the group is going to be able to take a life of its own. So like imagine you guys are like every day, oh my God, it's gonna be so freaking cool. You're doing something for self-care. So anything for yourself, you're taking a picture, you're posting in the group, or you're just posting however you're comfortable. Maybe you're doing a video, for some of you do the thingers, and now New Dynamo U's doing it too with the lives and stuff. So I'm imagining your group's going to take on a life in this way, and like you're sharing it with the group, and then all of a sudden you're getting those ideas. Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's self-care. Okay, cool. Like I'm going to do that now. And then all of a sudden it's going to take on a life of its own, like kind of like what Terry did with the money. I've never thought you could put like a quote to make someone's day when you pay for something, and then all of a sudden you see this like amazing like affirmation. You know what I mean? Like how cool would that
Mm-hmm.
be?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just like a good example, I think, of like what happens when you get people in this like space, to be able to like get in that momentum, because that's where the creativity sparks. Which, as you do the thingers know, it's my people, but for the people in the audience accelerator, they're embedding the do the thing formula into their group. And so Vickie's group is going to have my people. And so it's going to be really cool. My people who want lasting change and are going to be focused on self-care. And here's the thing, let's go back to the finding your voice thing, right? Because if you hadn't have found your voice, which I think you found it really through the podcast, like because you're connecting with people and all of that stuff. But I don't even think you would have noticed this, and you could have been kept like
Mm-mm.
you didn't even notice that you didn't even notice that you got not tired of talking about water, but it wasn't lighting you up in the way. And
Right.
people don't realize. So if you guys are watching and like you're wanting to be in a space of helping people in some way, and it could be just in your community, it could be at the library. It doesn't have to be something crazy, like on YouTube. Like, oh my God, we're literally on YouTube. Like it doesn't have to be like that. It could be in the library. It could be at your PTA. It could be whatever, or you could be wanting to like make an impact and go on YouTube or Instagram or whatever it is you want, or have your own Facebook group. And if you're wondering, like maybe you're even someone that like is noticing people aren't like following you, like, and no one's showing up for your stuff, think about it. Maybe it's because you're not tapped in, to your voice, and you
Yeah.
haven't like really figured out what lights you up. Because once you figure it out, man, you get obsessed, and it's like a fun obsession, like where you're able to like really tap in, and then the people are getting attracted to that. So I would notice that too for you guys. But anyway, this is what makes me see like you
Yeah.
finding your voice.
And if I can add, the
Yeah.
thing is that several times I've kind of wanted to branch away from just weight loss, but
Mhm.
every business coach I've had, says, "Well, that's your niche,
Yeah.
this is what you know, this is what you've struggled with, do this." And then you sell them what they want and you give them what they need. And so, but that's one of the things I want to thank you for, is because of the find your voice and the do the thing and the podcast and all that stuff.
Yeah.
um you kind of, like, in our conversation this morning, it's like you even said, "Wait a minute, Vickie, I think we need to think about this." And that was the first time I felt like I actually had someone that could understand me and actually say, "You don't have to do that thing that you were doing over there. Just because you've been doing it for a long time
Mhm.
doesn't mean it's the right place to be," right? And so it was, um, you giving me permission to say all of these synchronicities that are happening and the way I feel about this, and excited as I get on those lives in the morning, all about
Yeah.
this, there's a message there that I need to pay attention to. And so I definitely want to say thank you to you, because I might have gotten there eventually anyway,
Yeah.
but I'm so grateful that you helped me to see that. I know we've got all this stuff already in the works, and we've already got it on all these Canva templates and all that stuff, but we can change. So,
I know. I'm hoping I have that on recording. We'll have to share that later because it is true. Like we're literally like finishing everything's done for her grand opening, and we're like done. The emails are done. The one was going out Saturday. She's got the packet that she's going to show Monday, and I'm like, this is going to sound crazy, but I think we need to like pay attention to this. And I also said what you said. I'm like, everyone says the niches are in the rate, the riches are in the niches, and that is true.
mhm,
The more you can specialize in something, the better it is. But I think it's more important to tap into what you want to talk about. And then as you like do that, then you're going to be able to like help those people. Like for me, everyone thought I was crazy because the dating challenge was so successful, and they were like, what in the world? Why are you doing a sort of podcast challenge? It's like so opposite of the dating. Like you're literally they're like, you can make millions of dollars with this dating niche, And I was like, I want to do this, start a podcast. And for me, the common thing is the do the thing formula. So that's what's the same in like all
mhm,
the stuff. And that's why everything's so different. It was like I just kept testing this formula, because once I discovered it, I was like, oh my God, where else does this work in? It works in starting a book, it works with starting a podcast, finding your voice, dating,
yeah, yeah,
our cocktail party, bucket list. It's like all of these things. And so that's my common thing. And then for you, your common thing is making lasting change, and what is the key way to make lasting change but self-care? That's like huge, because if you're not resourcing yourself, like it's game over, dude. You're not doing it for you anymore. It's coming, whatever's coming at you, is like really, and I think that's what happened to me yesterday. And it's good that it happened, but I was like not resourced. I had just finished that TEDx thing. I was like tired, I loved it. It was amazing, but it's a lot, I put a lot into that. And then I had the bucket list challenge. And then I had just gone on vacation, and I was not resourced at all yesterday. And you could see it. I mean, I like look at that video and I'm like, I told you I watched it a few times. I'm like, oh my God, okay, this is out there now. And I even put it on LinkedIn, which I think we're on LinkedIn right now, which I'm more protective on LinkedIn because my old life people are really there. And
mhm,
like the CEO me, which is a whole nother Stacey that existed. And so even with the different last name. And so, yeah, anyway, I was not resourced, and that's why like everything triggered, so easily. And so I did not do self-care at all, and so that's where like that's what's so great about your group. And okay, grand opening, yay, this is so exciting. Her grand opening is on Monday. We just might not have a packet because we have to change
Yeah.
everything.
9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, so that is for you East. So for Pacific people, you're waking up early. So what I would suggest, because I'm going to be there, is at 6 a.m. my time. So I'm going to probably be like, and I'll see if I can still comment if I do it, but I'm probably going to be able to use it as like my walking time too. So like imagine that you could like double, duty something too. Like so
Mm-hmm.
for you early people, like for you Pacific Standard Time, use it as an excuse to wake up early, and I think I'm like, that'd be such a great way to spend my Mondays is with you. And it's like the group, and that's where the group kind of like takes on a life of its own. And that's what's been so beautiful about Do the Thing is like, because the people connect, and like you guys know, you all have become friends. And that's what's going to happen in your group. Everyone's going to become friends, and the common thing is going to be on making a lasting change. How cool is it? And then because it's a free Facebook group, you get to help everyone. And then there's going to be a percentage of people that are going to want private hypnosis sessions or private coaching or helping with Body Beautiful and like really tapping into their weight loss. Like, so you're going to be able to help whoever it is that wants to go deeper. But like for the most part, like people will also get to be impacted for free too.
Right, right. Yeah, well, I'm super excited about this pivot, I guess
Yeah.
we could say. Um, and the thing that just from helping you with the TEDx and then helping Michelle with the being able to feel confident and okay with being in a networking environment, there are so many things that people feel constricted about, even in their day to day life that has nothing to do with whether they need to lose weight or anything like that. Ah,
Totally.
that is
Yeah.
perfect. I feel like my new friends are more genuine from these groups.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. But there's so many different things that a lot of times we just feel like that's our lot in life. If
Yeah.
you're a person that wants to be on time and you're notoriously late, that can be fixed too. So there are so many different layers of what can be done because anything that we do repetitively that we don't like to do can be changed.
Yeah, it's so true. And you did a live or a Zoom. We did a Zoom. Luis with New Dynamo U has a challenge going on right now with his group, and he used Vickie as a bonus for his challenge. And we did this like really beautiful group hypnosis session together. And I'm like sitting there, and I've been really wanting to get more active, like exercise wise. And Vickie did the hypnosis, and everyone had like major kind of like moments of like after your hypnosis, and I was like, all I want to do is run right now. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, I've been running years. I did a half marathon like 10 years ago, and I don't think I want to go into running again, but like I at least know like I am able to run. So like part of me is like wanting to do that. And so anyway, the point is, yeah, it's like at any moment, you can make a shift, and that's where I
Yeah.
love I
Yeah.
love
Well, you want to hear what came up for me? Because and this will be the first time I've shared this, but from that actual group hypnosis was that I am 64 years old, and I wonder, a lot of people are slowing down and changing at this age, and I feel like I'm just blossoming out. And I wonder what could be possible that I never dreamed of. And, somebody even shared earlier, I don't know if it was you or who, oh no, it was a different thing, but it was about, the book 10X. How when you have a dream, 10X it, and that's what your actual potential is. And so and I'm saying this because, like I said, I've always struggled with my weight. I've always struggled with all of that. And I thought, what if now I don't struggle anymore and I don't and I actually push forward into creating more physical movement, and I actually do some of these things that I've kind of stayed away from because it feels like that constricted thing, that I've dealt with my whole life, where I would go massively hard, and then as soon as I hit that target, then suddenly I would be fat again and a few extra pounds. So I've really resisted all of that. And I thought, what if I actually did something to get more physically fit, knowing that it doesn't have to be at this level that I don't keep it up. Maybe it's at a level that's just perfect for me, and I actually do get more toned and more fit. And what if in a year from today, I look back at the picture of me now and I think, holy shit, I look so much better now than I did when I was in my 30s. And so it was like it just kind of, and I know this sounds silly because I just got through saying I wasn't really working on the weight loss and that kind of thing. And it's not the weight loss that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I'm looking at, I'm giving up this um, hold that I've had on myself and allowing myself to see what is the possibility.
Mm-hmm.
So just watch. I don't know how it's going to happen yet, but I
Yeah.
feel it coming. I really do. I just feel I'm on the precipice, or however the hell you say that word, a precipice
Yeah. I feel
of
like,
change.
yeah, I feel like it's like we finally are like getting out of our own way, you know? And
Yeah.
like I think it's now that's how the world feels like really open, right? Is because you found your voice, you're tapping into it. Now you're impacting others. You're on this verge of this like amazing thing that you feel it like in your, I think like we both feel it in our soul, like how good this is going to be for people and for you. Because that's what people don't realize. When you help other people and you're able to like do this work that we're doing, you're healing yourself in the process,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And
Yeah.
so it's a really healing, beautiful way of you getting to know yourself better and like learning what lights you up and what gets you freaking excited. Because who wants to keep doing that in life and just go through this like same old, and like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
doing this again.
Yeah.
Like, change it up. Come on, guys. Like, let's
That's
change it up.
right.
Yeah. So amazing. All right. Well, this
It's
is
time
totally,
to make lasting change.
oh, make lasting change. Okay, yeah, we'll have to do a cheer for sure because fun is part of the do the thing formula and mindset.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
yeah. So great. So you guys join Vickie's group. To be a founding member of Make Lasting Change, which means that you'll be helping build it, which is like I so exciting to be
Yeah.
able to be part of that. And yeah, I'm excited. I love being on this journey with you. It's really beautiful. Oh, for those of you that are like wanting to, this is totally changed topic,
Well,
but like,
real quick before you say that thought, I want to
yeah,
share that one of the things I did tell you this morning, because I'm a founding member of the Accelerator program, which is getting the
oh,
Facebook group and everything. And I shared that the thing that I love about being a founding member of that is because I am in there participating and I'm actually changing the trajectory of where things go. So I am instrumental, along with the other people that are in the group, of creating this, like, when you launch this, it's going to be very different from where it started, and because it's constantly kind of transforming as we go. And I love that. So I'm excited that everybody that is now in the group and that are coming in as we're talking, that they're founding members and they actually get to help this morph into whatever it's supposed to become.
oh my God, it's so exciting. Yeah, I love that you said that because it's so true. And it's so cool to feel like you're a part of something like that, in the beginning. It really is.
Yeah.
And yeah, so VickiePoole.com. I'll put the link in the comments after. And then if you need help, feel free to message either of us. And what else is there? Oh, find your voice. Just a reminder on that. I think everything goes back to that. That's the starting place, you guys, for so many things. So that's do the thing, findyourvoice.com. And it starts in a couple weeks. I think yesterday, a bunch of people joined after like the video, which I was not planning for that to also happen in that way. So, but there are still some spots yet left. So I would love to have you guys join us in there. It's a really easy challenge in terms of time. Like I know time is people's biggest, thing. And I designed it in a way that there's not even like any lives or anything. I just do a video a day. So I email you a video, it's 5 minutes, and then you do the action and it's in a small group. I purposely wanted in a small group to keep a safe space. Cause like I even said it yesterday, and I don't know if you went through this, but like well, when I started my podcast, I couldn't even be on video. The first 80 episodes, it was audio only, and oh my God, Vickie, this is so funny. When I looked at I met with my friend Sandy, and when I was telling you about, yeah, last night, and she was tagging me on Instagram, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't even notice it until last night, maybe because that whole thing happened with that video. And I was like, I was like hiding. When you look at my Instagram do the thing formula, it's like the image of my podcast, whereas most people have their picture, and like a whole thing. And I'm like, yeah, I was like literally like hiding. I couldn't even put my picture on my podcast thing, And anyway, it's all part of finding your voice, because once you tap into who you are, you don't really, you're just getting more expansive in that way. And so anyway, we'd love you guys to join that. And then Sunday, this is exciting. I met this LinkedIn expert, and she actually helped me tweak my LinkedIn for the TEDx app, because they had like 550 applications, and there were only 24 of us that got to audition. And so it was like amazing. So I wanted to improve my LinkedIn for that. And so she helped me, and I was like, oh, cool. Then she's going to help Vickie, Sean, and Luis, who are in the accelerator program, put them on hot seat. But then you guys will also learn how to update your profile based on what she's helping them do. And so that's going to be on Sunday, 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern, getting that at my
Yeah,
time zone
I'm excited.
Yeah. And the grand opening for Vickie's group is on Monday. And yeah, she has so many good things. Like, it's like, just in terms of just even the value you provide from every time you come in the Do the Thing group, there's usually I think 50 people at least that are and that's just live. And then after, a bunch of people, but it's like people hear you and they're like, oh, we're coming, kind of thing. So
Yeah,
just for you to be in your own space and do that is so exciting.
I agree. I'm super stoked. I can't wait.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining. Apparently we're doing these impromptu lives now. So I will let you all go for your day and do the thing. Don't wait for opportunity. Create
Create it.
it.